Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Derrick Pierce, and I'm sitting with
Kippo Santana. Shout out to Tito Santana wherever he is.
Why is it Kippo?
Because it's Tito.
But then it would just be Kip Santana.
But I have to add the O on it to,
to
Tito,
make it Latin?
Yeah, man.
Then it would be El Kip.
No, man. Tito, Kippo, it works, man.
Like no, the we could do La Kip.
La Kip? No, man. That's the lie. It's feminine, brother. It'd be El Kip.
I just said that.
And then actually it'd be El Kip because the I in Spanish sounds like an E.
Santana.
El Kip Santana.
That's better.
El Kipo Santana.
No, you sound like hippo.
Oh, damn it. Hey, I tried. Shout out to Tito Santana in the flying forearm.
You are listening to the Scholar and Sinner Show.
That's exactly where you are.
With Kip and Derrick Pierce. Mm-hmm. And I guess we're just going to jump in because things are still out here crazy, but we're not going to get too much into that.
It's a wild, wild world out there.
I just want to say, what's up to Corona? Keep
man.
Thriving.
Keep thriving.
It don't need my help, apparently.
It doesn't need either of our helps, right? I mean, it's amazing how everything is playing out because the shelter in place may do as much, if not more damage than the actual virus itself.
Which is entirely possible, especially here in California.
Especially here in California, because everybody was hoping that we was going to reopen this week and next week, and then
I had a feeling it was going to be June 1st.
But the new media outlets are saying sometime in August.
It's going to be fucking March of 2022.
And you know what really saddens me?
What?
Soup Plantation is gone, man.
Really? You like Soup Plantation?
I love Soup Plantation. Soup Plantation is delicious.
I think Soup Plantation was hanging on by a fucking thread before coronavirus.
I was an active contributor to the Soup Plantation Stay Alive Fund. Coronavirus killed the fucking Soup Plantation.
I think that's kind of ironic.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, shit, coronavirus also killed a bunch of small businesses.
Some big businesses too.
Big businesses, like the coronavirus didn't just kill people; it killed a lot of economic. A lot of businesses are toast.
Well, and that seems what's kind of going on now at this time is people trying to figure out what their next step is, right? Mm-hmm. Like if we forget about the numbers for a second and whether it's 30,000 or 90,000 or what percentage of the population has now
right and
gone to greener pastures.
Gone to greener pastures, huh?
Hey man, I was gonna say kick the bucket, but that didn't feel socially appropriate.
Kick the bucket is kind of socially insensitive. There's somebody
got pushed out of a moving car, kicked off a cliff.
Greener pastures is a lot better. Let's just walk it back a little bit because I mean, realistically, everybody's gonna have.
Wow. You know what? I believe our producer had said right before we started,
phones on silent
and quiet. On our set.
The irony of it all.
She specifically said these things to the other people in the room and made a big deal about it and was giving people dirty looks across the room.
It's kind of like
because they were on the phone.
It's kind of like how our government does at those press conferences when they're not social distancing. They tell everybody to social distance and the motherfuckers stand next to each other.
And the interpreter is standing right next to them.
Yeah. And they'll have no mask on.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Yeah.
Are you saying that our producer is as evil as Donald Trump?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, that's reaching. That's reaching.
Yeah, that's reaching.
Okay.
I would say that it was a really, really bad rookie mistake. Yeah. Listen, she's produced at least 18 or 19 shows by now.
True. So
I said at least.
I
don't know what
18 or 19 of our shows.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I just said shows. I don't know how many she's produced.
She's got a gang shit under her belt, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a lot under the belt.
Well, I was saying at least.
Yeah.
A minimum. I didn't say that was all.
No.
You're implying that I'm talking shit. Like that she only did 20 shows. I said at least.
At least. Well,
like I can vouch for 20.
We like to treat Jay like, Tim the Tool Man's neighbor.
Like one of the homies that she just sits like this?
Yeah, you can't see,
you can't see nothing
Tim's
right
face.
here?
What was the neighbor's name, man? We never saw his face. We just saw his eyes.
Was it Wilson? No.
I don't know, but that's who Jay is.
The fuck?
She's
was it Wilson?
Kind of that.
I think it was
She's
Wilson.
a part of our show.
That was a white thing for me to know.
Yeah, it was a white thing.
Yeah.
It's a good show, though. It's a good show. Yeah, man. And then that guy got in trouble for being an alcoholic, drug addict. Now, I don't know who's using drugs. What's his name? Gambler. The main character, he was a wild man, and he played, the wholesome American.
Tim Allen?
Yeah, the wholesome American family guy, and in real life, he was a fucking, he was out there.
Really?
Yes.
He used to go to Golds where I went to I don't remember hearing that.
Hey, I wasn't mad at dude for the shit. I was like, hey, man. But
anyway,
if we're talking about our country,
yes,
right? I would argue that there's a whole lot of discomfort and worry and fear. People are, this is one of the more uncomfortable times in the history of the last like 50 to 60 to 70 years.
You know what I've noticed is that there's worry and fear, but it's not what it was 2 months ago.
Right.
The worry and fear 2 months ago was, am I going to die?
Am I going to die? Now
the
worry and fear is, am I going to be able to provide for my family?
And die.
Right. Because, you remember the uncertainty during the 9/11 when the towers went down and we didn't know what was going to happen? No one knew anything.
Nothing.
But we bounced back relatively quickly, right? Well, it's hard to say that we bounced back relatively quickly when I didn't have someone in the building, right? Because those people are still hurting. I'm like, people in New York will never forget Ground Zero.
No, of course not.
What I'm saying about this is that it feels like this coronavirus thing is unending, right? Like,
but it is unending.
It's like we try to find the light at the end of the tunnel, but then the fucking tunnel gets longer.
Well, when I say it's unending, I mean that it's not going anywhere. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who is actually really, really smart. Like, I mean, I'm dumb compared to her, and I'm insanely intelligent. Hey,
what was that? Did you just pat yourself on the back, my brother?
My shoulder hurts a little bit.
Sometimes you got to love yourself.
Because I had to reach back there real far to get all that back on there.
Insanely intelligent.
Yeah, insanely. Anyway, and we were talking about it, and we were having a heated discussion because I was like, yo, like, Corona's not going nowhere.
Right.
Like, after we come off these, in-place orders and all that kind of stuff, it's still going to be there. It's like chilling, like a nighttime security guard. Right?
Man.
Like, it's not going anywhere.
Man. So during the time of fear and discomfort, what people need is a leader, right?
Sure.
So
if you see one, let us know.
Yeah, if you see one, let us know. Because like I get so tired of the Trump supporters, right? Because it's almost like they're supporting an idea and not actually supporting what he says and what he does, right? It's like they have this picture of this dude in their head, and that guy that they picture is not the dude standing at the fucking press conference. Because Mother's Day, this fucking guy is tweeting about, what does he call it? Obamagate.
You know what it is.
And then he gets cornered about the tweet at a press conference, and he does something seriously embarrassing. It's like, everybody knows what the crime was. It was the greatest crime ever committed in American soil.
It's been happening for a long time.
Right. And not to mention that he doesn't bring up the idea of an American being murdered in Georgia, He doesn't bring up the idea of Ahmaud Arbery. He doesn't bring up the idea of Breonna Taylor, the 26-year-old EMT
who was shot by the popo.
Shot and
accidentally.
Killed. Yeah,
they shot her on purpose, but it was a accidental. They had the wrong house, right?
They had the wrong house, right? But still, like, the point is, I figured it out. Figured it out. Okay, this is how you terrify white people.
Give black people guns.
Yeah, you make black people uncomfortable and make them feel like they're going to be scared, right?
Yeah.
That they're terrified. And then all the white people are like, oh shit, all those black folks are scared. Now they're going to come take our shit. That's kind of how it works, right? Because it seems like every 5 minutes is something new to be afraid of. Right?
Well, it's the easiest way to control people.
It is. It's the highest form of capital right now, right? For the lowest form of intellect.
So what do you think about all the people that are kind of protesting right now? I mean, I think some of them are pretty fucking stupid, to be honest with you.
In my opinion, the people are protesting because a better plan of like a cognitive plan, a very thoughtful plan on how to continue having our country running hadn't been given out. Right.
No,
the reason why they're protesting is
because that would be leaders coming up with a viable process and program.
Exactly. They're protesting. Of course, they're protesting because they want their businesses to be reopened. Right. And of course, they're protesting because the real reason why individuals are protesting is because we don't have any other choices. It either is this or that. And I saw a meme that I thought, it resonated. It said, the media is the virus.
I've heard that since the beginning.
Media is the virus. All the information and disinformation. Fucking murder hornets. You assholes.
Japanese. Was it Japanese? Japanese
Murder
hornets.
It's not called a fucking murder hornet.
I know.
Right? And then in the article I read said that
they don't even attack people.
First of all, they don't attack human beings. And secondly, it says if you repeatedly stung, you could die. But it has to repeatedly sting an old person. Like, this type of shit is what drives me.
If you repeatedly get bitten by a dog, you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
If you repeatedly get bitten by a snake, you're probably going to die.
Yes. So what? We have rattlesnakes. Are you afraid of a fucking rattlesnake? Like murder hornets. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like the sensationalism is what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking.
Well, that's what Dr. Drew said in the very beginning. He said basically the media should stand down and basically shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because they don't know what they're talking about.
So all of this rolls back into the idea of how woefully unprepared we were for this thing, right? How woefully unprepared we were for
it was Obama's
the
fault.
idea. And of course it's Obama's fault, even though
that was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
but it was
even
his
though
fault.
that Donald Trump shut down the branch of the government that was supposed to take care of these pandemic issues. But hey, it's still Barack Obama's fault. And it drives me nuts that, you know, there's police brutality, there's civil unrest, there's, you know, young people being murdered, like wholesale, flat out murdered. And this dude is tweeting. He's not providing any hope.
But that's what
he's
does.
not providing any comfort.
That's what. You know what the funny thing is he keeps talking about, you know, fake media, which it's fine. I don't know that the media is fake. I'm sure that they sensationalize things that shouldn't be. I'm sure they put spin on things constantly.
Absolutely.
But he's no better. He literally is doing the same propaganda that he's accusing them of doing.
Yeah.
You're no better.
I was you know, I'm trying to stay away from Instagram. I am struggling because, like, you know, you see these people in their perfect, beautiful little lives and all these beautiful human beings doing beautiful shit.
My God,
and eventually, like, it starts to take a toll on you because when you look at your situation, you're like, well, I don't have.
I got no pool.
I ain't got no pool. Shit. How the fuck is they out there having a good time when I'm sitting in here watching fucking Tiger King? You know what I'm saying? I
goddamn care, bastard. I still haven't watched it yet.
The point that I'm trying to make here is that at this point in time, we need a leader that would be humble, right? We need a leader that would be measured. We need a leader that would be patient. And all of these fucking Trump supporters that try to use the Bible.
Yes, that is a stretch. But they're not the only ones. I'm not a fan of Pelosi. I think she's, you know, 2 steps away from being fucking mentally retarded. Am I not supposed to say that?
I think retarded is one of those words that
supposed to say
like the M word for little people. You can't say the M word
midget
anymore. You fucking.
I didn't know which word you're talking about. I thought you were talking about mighty.
This is my friend.
Yeah, like mighty people.
Mighty people?
Well, mighty mites.
Mighty mites, even better. Holy shit.
Well, when I played football, Pop Warner, they called
That's what it was.
Mighty mites.
I mean, Pop Warner used to have a junior midget. They used to have a division called. I wonder what they call that shit now.
I don't know.
Nothing, because you can't say the M word, and there's no sports except for the UFC, which we will get to later.
Yes, we absolutely will.
Yes.
I want to close out one thing on the whole political shit and everything. The one thing that really I couldn't believe he said it, and I felt it was with the most malicious intent.
Oh, tell him, talk to him.
Is when Mitch McConnell.
Oh, you talking about Mitch? I thought you were going to talk about the Asian reporter.
Oh, that too. That's hella malicious. But Trump is so bad, he's just accidentally racist at this point.
Accidentally racist.
Like it's just so he's like, you know, oh, did I do that again? Like, fuck, I didn't even notice. At least with like other racists, you know, they could tell you, like, oh, by the way, I'm fucking racist. Like, and I know what I'm about to say is a racist comment. You know what I mean?
Right. But
they don't ever backpedal like what I say.
Yeah.
You know, but so Mitch McConnell was being interviewed, and he basically said, because Obama had made some comments in private, doesn't really matter, that were slightly disparaging to the Trump administration.
Right.
And Mitch McConnell's response was, Obama should shut his mouth. That was exact. Now, to me, that old crackerjack looking unbuttered popcorn piece of fucking no chin having ass.
Oh, that was a lot of adjectives.
Jesus Christ, this motherfucker. Like, I feel like he got punched in the chin before, and that's why it's not there no more.
Not there.
Because somebody took his shit out already. I felt like that was a know your place boy kind of statement.
Ooh, know your place boy kind of statement.
Shut your mouth, right?
Shit.
Like, shut your mouth. It's not your role. You feel me?
Right.
And if you listen to him say it, I don't know. I'm speculating, but that's just how it felt to me. It felt like, shut your mouth, boy.
Right.
Your time is done. Because that's what he said. He said you had your shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obama had a shot and did a pretty fucking good job.
So what ends up happening is that, like, for me, it's very difficult to separate. Remember when Obama was running for president? Obama mania was high. Like, hope was palatable. Like, it was in the air, right?
Right.
And I think that Donald Trump post that tweet about like vilifying Obama and calling it Obamagate like it's fucking Watergate, right? Like,
something.
bro, are you out of your mind? The reason why I did that is because Obama also came out and said he can't wait to start campaigning for Joe Biden, right? So now he's trying to get out in front of it. He's like, holy shit, I got to fight against Obama mania. Because I gotta get out in front of this shit.
I don't think Biden is any fucking better. He's better than Trump, but only because Trump is so bad.
So
you know what I'm saying? Biden's not good.
So the worst part about this is that the president does not run the country.
No,
right?
Well,
the
president can't tell Trump that.
The president doesn't run the country. The president is more like an exalted spokesperson for the country. So then when we have an insensitive, a racist, he can't even lie to us very well, right?
I mean, just terribly.
At this point, I need some comfort. I want to feel better. Lie to me, baby. Like, tell me you love me, if only for one night. Just here,
Gavin Newsom.
Just tell me you love me. Tell me you
Gavin
fucking love me.
Newsom's a slick motherfucker, boy.
I'm just saying.
Gavin is. You seen Gavin Newsom? Mm-mm. He's a good-looking middle-aged man. Got the hair slicked back and nice suits.
I'm just
saying.
And
he hella selling this used car.
I would be happy if the president was acting like a stripper. You know how when strippers they whisper in your ear and tell you how handsome you are, and they just trying to dance on you to get more of them dollars. Look, man, just tell me you fucking love me, because right now American citizens are feeling ignored. American citizens are feeling unloved. And like, if California stays quarantined with the stay-at-home order until August, that'll be about 5 months.
But
that's
we know
almost
that's not gonna happen.
half the, well, I hope not, but shit, man, that's almost half the year.
No, I hear you. I'm
half
just saying,
the year.
California's not going to sit around. Can you imagine people in LA sitting around for that long?
Oh, no. Because, we know what happens in
summer's coming.
Summer is coming. It's going to be 105 outside.
Yeah,
people are going to want to go to the beach.
Trying to, Not only they're trying to want to go to the beach, they're going to want to go to work for the air conditioning.
They're going to want to go to work, right? Oh, my God. Like, we talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about this on the way here. Like, what are you doing with your significant other? Is your wife or your husband starting to feel like a cellmate? Like,
I bet they are.
Is your husband or wife starting to feel like a fucking celly? Like, you live in an 8x8 space and you look over like, your ass ain't going to work, huh? No, I know you ain't going. Shit. Like,
I am retiring to the living room. Leave me alone.
Like, the space is often what helps our relationships grow. Like, being away from each other, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Man, you just got all the way squirreled right now.
I got squirreled?
Squirreled. Yeah. So,
because they over here with the little fucking phone cameras and shit.
Hey, man.
She had an iPhone 4.
Oh, shit. iPhone 4.
Wow. Hey, listen, this is not a talk show where we ask the people in the audience any fucking questions. Mm-mm. This is a listen to.
So, Sue Plantation is gone. I'm going to be sad. And Twitter. Twitter said that all of their employees can just stay at home forever.
But they're still working now.
They're still working.
I wanted to backpedal that a little bit because when we were talking about people being at home with their significant other and how rough that is, I had mentioned to you, one thing I found funny is or potentially interesting is how many people, now that they're at the stay-at-home activity, right, and they don't have the same, at least on the surface, the same responsibilities, somehow it's okay to now be potentially irresponsible for what you normally be responsible for, which, I mean, DWP, your phone bill, your rent. Right. I know some people who are getting their $600 unemployment a month, $2,400.
Yeah.
Right? A month. $600 a week, $2,400 a month. And they can afford a large portion of their bills.
Right.
And they're just like, I'm just not paying rent. You're paying rent? Who's paying rent?
And in the meantime, Jeff Bezos and Amazon is booming right now.
Right.
Like, these people are not paying their light bill, but they're buying shit on Amazon though.
Well, yeah, because they had their stimulus check,
or they getting their unemployment check, right? So
I'm wondering where everybody's responsibility, not everybody, those people that are saying that, wherever they may be. And it seems to be a socioeconomic activity throughout the country, right? Is that the people who are now applying for those unemployments that are deciding that they don't want to pay their rent because of coronavirus. I don't want to go get a job where I know that they're hiring. There's a lot of places that are hiring, believe it or not.
Right.
I fucking hate Walmart with a passion. But that being said, if they're hiring a time and a half and I don't have a job,
I'm going to go get a job at Walmart.
I'm probably going to do it. If for no other reason than to get the hell out of the house.
Right. If for no other reason to get the hell out of the house. My question is always like, who benefits from this? You know how people
Which part?
Like, who benefits from the deconstruction of our economic foundations with small businesses and with the actual American population going to work? Who benefits from us not going to work? And forgive me for being the conspiracy theorist, right? Because what was our boy's name that wanted to give $2,000 a month to everybody?
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang was the presidential candidate that proposed like almost a living wage, right?
Right.
So if we destroy our economy, right, by shutting down these businesses and giving people money just to be, it seems like the only other thing, conspiracy, fact check me if you want, motherfucker. The only thing
fact check that
would actually reinvigorate our economy is a living wage. Like the government is going to pay people to stay at home. Like, I mean, what's the difference between that and unemployment? It'll just be called something else. It'll just be people sitting at home getting money.
Now correct me.
It does sound like socialism. That sound like socialism, doesn't it?
Why'd you fuck up my setup, dude? Because I was gonna milk that shit.
Go on, get the milk in there.
Nah, fuck it. You already got a whole gallon of milk out that bitch. I was just going to get a couple good squeezes.
I'm just saying, man. Like everybody.
I thought we didn't want to be socialists.
We don't. We're not supposed to be socialists, right?
So what are we doing?
Well, you know what happens.
This isn't capitalism.
No, it's definitely not capitalism. Because you know what happens if we move into a socialist model is that the rich will stay rich, and the people that have been pacified or satiated with that living wage will never get out there and compete. They'll never get out there and compete, and then the government
because they're giving just enough.
Yeah, you're just giving enough. What it's like the slave master gave the slave two things: food and shelter, and that's all it needed. Food and shelter. There you go.
Right.
Yeah. Now get into this little town or get into this thing and do what you're supposed to do because you're just a fucking battery anyway. As soon as you're done using your energy, you're just gonna throw you away and put a new one in there and keep the party going, keep the machine running.
I think for a lot of conservatives, at least at the top, right? They sure did push real hard for this the stimulus to be pushed through that $2 trillion, well, 1.5 by the time it actually made it out, and pushed all this stuff out. And I thought that most conservatives are all about small government.
Yes, smaller government, not bigger government, right? And you know what?
It seems like a pretty fucking big government to me.
I kid you not, man. Like I always have like these dope boy aesthetics in my head. Okay, right? Like, cause we grew up in the '80s, and I'm from the crack era, right? I mean, I was a little boy during the crack era, but nonetheless, I was there. Like, if the first hit is free, right, I'm just gonna give you a little bit so that you can become comfortable, and then you can want more. I'm gonna create dependency. Right, I'm going to create dependency on this chemical. So now let's say we're not talking about a chemical. We're talking about the finances of your whole house. Now, what that does is it ruins your motivation to go out there and create more finances for your own house because you're already being fed. Why go hunting if you can get Domino's delivered at the house every day? Isn't that easier than hunting? See, or you can get DoorDash or what's the other shit? Grubhub, Uber Eats. Like, why go hunting if they just bring the shit to you?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't disagree with the sentiment. I just think it's an interesting conundrum where these conservatives who have been constantly working on deregulation and constantly working on what seems to be smaller government, which means that bigger business somehow always seems to get out ahead and holding the smaller businesses down. Now we're in an emergency, and they're like, hey, bring on the trillions because that's what we do.
And most people are protesting because it was never any comprehensive plan to kind of maintain the economic health of our country. Nothing, right? That's rough. And then we have the other side of the spectrum where there are individuals that don't believe that the virus is real at all. They just like, that shit ain't real. This is all some bullshit, right? Like, and the worst part about that is the average citizen does not have the power to actually measure or check the information that is being presented to them.
There's a certain amount that we have to take on faith.
Trust. We got to trust motherfuckers, right? It's like
a certain amount. CDC, WHO.
Yeah, right? And then like it's like, who do you trust at the end of the day? Because
I don't know.
If you're worried about being sick, right?
Yeah.
But then you're also worried about not being able to provide, right? We're saying that, like we said earlier, the stay-at-home order may actually do far more damage than the actual virus itself.
Well, and Kip, have you ever seen anybody die from coronavirus?
No, but
and you don't know what it's like to have to watch somebody die from this very real virus. And it's why I'm sorry. This is what I keep fucking hearing from people when I say shit like that. And they're like, how would you feel if your mom died from coronavirus?
Right.
I would be devastated.
Right.
But I wouldn't blame my neighbor for not staying home.
Yeah.
Like, it's not their fault.
Like, far be it from me for being a hypocrite, right? Because I don't want my mom, who's in her early 70s, out there running in the streets. You know what I mean? She's in that danger zone, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know someone personally, but I know of individuals that have passed away. I have a student who, I'm not, leave that alone, but I mean, I know of. So all of us know of or heard of whatever the degree of separation is. Right. But yet and still, man, what was the fucking plan? Right?
They don't know.
And then our president is blaming Barack Obama for some crime that he doesn't. Oh man, golly, man. Fuck.
Because he implemented Corona before he left.
Right.
I'm just going to leave this right here.
Listen, we're going to figure it out, because what ends up happening is there's still going to be a presidential election coming next year. And we're in May. And 2020 has been a fucking horrible ride.
Oh, it's been a nightmare. We've almost been to war.
Do you remember?
We're about bankrupt.
You remember at the beginning of 2020, everybody's like 2020 vision, hashtag, blah, 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 blah. Where all that shit at now? It's in the house.
Yeah.
Eating Cheetos.
Everybody wrote 2020 off.
Yeah, it was like, man, can we just get a fucking redo? Can I get a mulligan?
We just want to skip this to 21. Fuck the dumb shit. Yeah. Speaking of skipping shit, so there's no other sports going on right now except for
the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
Yes. And by the time you see this, it'll probably be Friday, but we are recording this. Tonight, there is a UFC fight. There is a UFC event. They are winning. And this UFC event is free. There's nothing else. No other sports to watch.
Or what?
It's on ESPN2. It's on ESPN2. But let's backtrack a little bit. Right?
Somebody's here. They're at the front door. And they just jingled the fucking...
That's what that was.
I feel like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood right now.
Hey, man, I got a soft spot for Mr. Rogers.
He's
Mr.
dope.
Mr. Rogers was the shit.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to fashion myself as the new cool Mr. Rogers.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I am.
You don't
I'm
have a sweater.
I'm going to come in the house. I'm going to change my Jordans. I'm going to get off my bike. You know how Mr. Rogers used to put the, what was he wearing? He was wearing some kangaroos. He was either wearing some kangaroos or some fucking Vans. And he just, hello, children. Yeah,
he was
Mr. Rogers was a shit. He probably sold a little dope.
He might have.
Yeah,
I
Mr.
don't
Rogers
know
was
that.
dope.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, love Mr. Rogers.
He was actually a good guy.
I
saw the documentary on him.
The documentary was fly,
yeah.
And the funeral was really sad. I was like, oh, man.
It was.
Fred Rogers.
Anyway, UFC. People getting ass whooped in Octagon.
People getting their ass all the way whooped. Where do we want to start?
At the beginning, and you're really amped about this shit because you were texting me when it was going on, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you go ahead and get started with it.
So Henry Cejudo and Dominic Cruz. Right? I think they're bantamweights, which is...
I think you're right.
Those are teeny tiny...
35.
The teeny tiny grown ass man. Now, I need you to understand, this is a grown ass man that weighs 135 pounds.
Yeah.
That's an 8th grader.
Oh, yeah, the bitches that fuck on the side way more than that.
I'm just saying. 135 pounds of just badassery, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just 135
angry spider
pounds
monkey.
of angry spider monkey.
Dominic Cruz is so fucking awkward when he fights. Like,
right. And I think...
He's so weird.
And then when you watch
good.
It's good, but when you watch it, Henry Cejudo... And he employed these low kicks, so that took away all that motion, all that weird shit. Like,
and I noticed how he was shooting too. He was shooting from really close range and faking and feigning the shoot to get him to fold down and stand him up. Got a couple tee off on 3-4 shots and then reset.
And so what happened with Henry, right, is that he's such a dominant champion, right? Because he also beat what's my man's name that went to one champion? Well, it doesn't matter. He's a really, really dominant champion. He is an Olympic gold medalist. He's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, right? So he beat Dominic Cruz, Henry Cejudo, the one that won. Henry not only beats, he has a degree in fucking theology. He's a smart guy. So what does he do at the end of the shot?
Whooping your ass,
while he's whooping your shot, he can give you some Jesus.
He can theorize.
He can give you some theology. He can give you some God while he's laying down the hand of God while he's putting his foot in your ass.
Yeah, basically.
But at the end of the fight, he says he retires. He's like, I retire. I'm done. I want to go have a family. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. He's only 33 years old, but I don't know if that motherfucker retired. He probably wants
You
more
know.
money. But hey, Henry Cejudo.
I mean, Uriah Faber kind of rode that shit to the end too.
He sure did. But Uriah came back. And I think Uriah came back to prove a point because Uriah's like, 41, 42 years old? And
young.
He's not a young guy, and fighting that 25-year-old might be some shit, you know what I mean? But he does all right. You know, he's not out there getting washed. He's not out there getting his ass beat. But heavyweights.
Yes. Yeah, you like this one because it was a hella fast fight.
It was 20 seconds. Why is his name escaping
Justin?
me? No, he's from Nigeria. Oh my God.
Oh,
big, monstrous Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, Ngannou. That's it. Francis
Ngannou is, how the fuck are you 6'5" or so, 265 pounds with like 7% body fat? How? Francis Ngannou.
Genetics.
Francis Ngannou looks like if we were playing a video game.
And you made your character.
Someone would say you're fucking cheating. You're cheating. What? Francis Ngannou is the reason why white people are afraid of black people.
But I can't. It's like, well, why don't we just do this show out in the fucking street at this point?
We might as well. And cars driving by and all that other shit. Maybe the
elote
man will show up. Maybe the elote man will show up.
He might.
Yeah.
We get to do with the shaved ice.
Oh, yeah. They out there. Yeah. I mean, matter of fact, he's probably not out there. The cops is probably fucking him up right now.
That's true.
Anyway,
so we had this conversation on the way in, and I'm not saying Mr. Terror is a bad heavyweight. I'm just saying he hadn't really fought anybody in their prime just yet.
He beat a bunch of guys that were pretty good though. He's like,
they weren't bad, but most of them were stand-up fighters that he's better than. He's also, he's also fresher than them. They're a little worn down.
Yeah, he fought Stipe and lost. Right. And Stipe Miocic was smart enough to say, I'm not standing in front of this dude with these fucking sledgehammer hands. Right. Look, the guy that he beat was a K1 champion, right? Yeah. And he was in his prime, a young guy, and he beat him within 20 seconds. What happens with Francis is that what he lacks in technique, he far more makes up for in power. This guy
It's only going to last so long.
It's only going to last so long. Remember, I said, in order for him to be like an effective heavyweight in the UFC, he kind of has to develop that Chuck Liddell thing. You know how Chuck didn't wrestle or grapple. Chuck wrestled enough to stay on his fucking feet, right? He just did enough so that you wouldn't take him down, and then sooner or later he gonna hit you with that ridiculous right hand, and you're gonna be, astral traveling. He's gonna separate you from your senses.
Different time.
That's what Francis has to develop, because Stipe would still beat his ass.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier would still beat his ass. Daniel Cormier would take him down and just punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Until he fights a ground fighter, it's kind of untested.
Well, yeah, and who knows when Cormier is going to ever do anything.
Cormier is trying to fight Stipe for the rubber match, and then he's going to retire because he's 42 years old. He's like, man, what the fuck am I still doing out here?
Hey, man, since we're talking about ages and fighting.
Mike Tyson.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Mike Tyson.
This motherfucker.
Mike Tyson. I feel like Mike Tyson is like reignited the old guy fighter, because Evander Holyfield wants to fight.
Well, you saw what he said. He said that he said he got, what did he say? He's something about like, I've been reinvigorated.
No, it was some wild shit about the God of Wars have reignited my ego.
I was being nice.
Yeah,
I was being nice.
Some wild shit. I was like, Like I've heard people describe hanging out with Mike Tyson as kind of like chilling with a fucking lion.
Right. You never know when he's going to bite your ass.
Joe Rogan was like, you just kind of hope it likes you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still fucking Mike Tyson. And as men get older, our hormones come down, right? And if he is doing some type of testosterone therapy, right? So he's 53. If it could turn him back to being 30-something, right? In his mid-30s, he has enough fight IQ.
Oh, his IQ is amazing.
Yeah, and if we can get those reflexes to be half of what they were and the power to be half of what it was.
Suppose the talk is that he's talking about doing bare knuckle with Shannon Briggs.
Hell no. Bare knuckle would be a terrible idea.
That's the chat.
Bare knuckle would be a horrible fucking idea.
Why?
First of all, BKFC is where the ex-mixed martial artists go when they can't compete on a high level anymore.
Right.
And if they did that, it would just be a spectacle. I think he should just do exhibition fight with Shannon Briggs and a charity event.
Well, they haven't signed anything yet.
A charity event, and make it huge. Instead of a BKFC, a brand that's not really known, still entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Mike Tyson's brand is bigger than the bare knuckle fighting championship. Who the fuck really knows about? I know about it because I like combat sports.
Right.
So what about Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson.
Well, yeah. What about it?
So
I mean, Ferguson is.
I feel bad for Tony. I feel bad for
not
Tony
looking
Ferguson.
his best right now.
No, he had like what 12 straight wins or something crazy.
Yeah, a lot.
He had
a lot, and he gets better as the rounds go on.
But you know the problem with Tony Ferguson is a hallmark of his fighting style is that he could take an amazing amount of abuse,
which is not a good sign.
No, and he took a whole bunch of abuse. Justin Gaethje put them things on that boy's ass. It was yes. I think the fight could have been stopped earlier. Like there was a couple moments in the fight where
you just get when you get really high profile fighters like that, you cannot step in early.
No, you can't. You can't. Well, see, the funny thing is that it was Justin Gaethje was the step-in guy, right? Because Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. This is the 5th time that they were supposed to fight.
He can't get in the country. Is that what the problem?
Can't get in the country. Right. It's Ramadan, like it's
everything.
Yeah, it's everything. So he's like, well, cool. So the UFC is like, well, fine. We'll make an interim championship belt and let you fight it out with the next guy in line. Right. And the next guy in line just so happened to whoop his ass. It was terrible.
One-sided.
It was one-sided. Yeah. I mean, the second round was pretty competitive. The first half of the first round was pretty competitive. But other than that,
maybe not one-sided. It was very dominated.
So as someone that's helped fighters prepare, right, how difficult is that actual weight cut? Because we're talking about dudes.
It depends. It depends how honest they are about their weight cut.
Okay.
I had a fighter that would come off of 195, almost 200 pounds to 155.
200 pounds to 155?
And he would lie to me about how much he weighed all the time.
Man.
And I would look at him, and finally about the 4th or 5th time when we'd be about week number 6 maybe, and I would just be like, dude, you fat motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who are you lying to? Like, I can see you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fucking blind idiot, man.
That's fucking
crazy. I know that you're not 170 pounds.
Like, Daniel Cormier comes from 265
because he's
down
fat ass.
to 205 pounds.
He's a fat ass.
Like, yeah, he's a big, fluffy dude, right?
Yeah.
These guys were fighting at 170, if I'm not mistaken. And they probably walk around at about 200.
I'll tell you what. So when I was training Manny Gamburian, Manny never had a problem making weight.
But he was fighting close to his natural weight, though.
No, he was fighting 135. And, I mean, he's an easy 160 guy.
Okay.
I mean, he's got a lot of muscle. He's a short guy, but, I mean, he's well put together, you know?
Right.
But I mean, he never had a problem. That dude was so disciplined when it came to that stuff. If I could have combined him with one of my other fighters, and they would have been a 155 or 145 champion. Period. End of day. Every day. So there were a few guys that were exceptionally gifted as fighters, but didn't necessarily have the mental fortitude to stay on weight. And then they would suffer. And I mean, literally, they'd be doing salt baths and spitting in cups.
Oh, the salt bath is ridiculous. You know what's interesting about the last UFC event is that there was no crowd. So
you hear everything.
Yeah. Oh man. Not only do you hear
trip, right?
It's. I don't know. I kind of dug it because you can hear the corner yelling instructions to the fighters, and a few times the fighter is talking back, and then when they get mollywopped, there is the sound of the impact of a man getting high kicked in the side of the head. I was like, oh shit.
Well, you also don't hear the stupid, my opinion, sorry, but my opinion, the stupid commentary from fans who are cheering for I don't fucking know what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't understand the game.
Right.
And so they're not doing anything when they see an incredible ground maneuver that is extremely difficult to pull off.
Right. That always happens during the ground fighting. People start booing and shit. It's like,
or they don't say anything because they don't know what just happened. When somebody fucking pulls a half guard
or they pass, they get full mount. The full mount is a big deal. Like full mount is schoolyard, you getting your ass beat. That's what full mount is.
And then also there'll be a glancing blow off a glove and they'll be like, ooh, and it's like it didn't even hit him.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the more interesting things about the actual sound and taking in the fight because there was nobody in the stadium. I thought that shit was kind of dope.
You can hear the floor.
Yeah.
You can hear when they hit the cage.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the Tony Ferguson, well, actually, fortunately, the Tony Ferguson fight was stopped early. And I think he had like a fracture in his orbital. Don't check. But he was really, really beat up after that shit.
Fact check that shit.
Yeah, fact check that shit. What was this? He had some injuries because they just let his ass out the hospital.
Hey, orbitals, that's the bad one, boy.
You got a broken face, bro.
Yeah, basically my face broke.
Your face.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when they get their Fight Island up.
Oh, Fight Island should be dope.
Yeah.
Fight Island should be dope. And
that's 100%.
And that is
happening.
You know that I'm pretty sure they don't care about the gate. UFC isn't caring about the gate. No. Why? Because it's the only sporting event on TV.
They can throw up any fighters. My God. They're gonna make money.
They probably absolutely raped the sponsors. For the commercials, like you know this shit gonna cost double what you was paying before.
Maybe
if you were the owner, if you were the Fertitta brothers,
and they're not pay-per-view now. I mean, they're pay-per-view, but they're not on normal pay-per-view, so their gate split.
Well, the last event was a pay-per-view
split
event.
Is different.
The last event was a pay-per-view event. The event tonight is not a pay-per-view event. The event tonight is free.
Their pay-per-view now is with ESPN.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They're not on network pay-per-view like a Time Warner and all of those.
BKFC.
Right. They're on ESPN, which means they have a bigger, I would assume, they've negotiated a much bigger deal on a different network to offer a pay-per-view that way.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a very, I think that when we look at how important sports are, is that one of the reasons why people are protesting is that a lot of our outlets have been taken away.
Absolutely.
Right. So a lot of the things that like we vicariously live through and get excitement from, like as wild as it sounds, I kind of miss the movies. I miss going to the movies. I super miss the movies. And I love it. What's even crazier about it is that some of these movie theaters are not going to survive.
No, like actually, most of them I don't.
Right. The amount of theaters or amount of shows that are going to go directly to Netflix is going to be astronomical.
Oh, it's going to be staggering.
And realistically, some of these...
Well, they've already done it. They did it with The Irishman.
They did it with that Trolls movie.
Oh, they got
murdered everybody.
Like, what was it? $300 million?
I don't know. That shit won. And it made more money because people are at home. And it made more money than it would have if it would have premiered in the theaters. So,
yeah, 100%.
Interesting thing. But speaking about people being at home, right? People being at home. Speaking about rap music...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Takashi 6ix9ine is home.
Right. Well, he's been home for a while because he got early release. He was supposed to be released later in the summer, but he got early release because of the coronavirus. Right? Coronavirus. Right? So he didn't have to stay in jail, but immediately he comes home and he gets back to trolling. Like, is he a professional rapper or is he a professional troll? Which one is it? Excuse me.
I think he's a troll who thinks he can rap.
See,
I got to give him credit to him or to whoever put him up on game, but I think he realized very early on, he just has to have a gimmick.
Yeah,
and but rappers have had a gimmick, not all.
I mean,
Kid and Play and Kwame.
So you dug deep with the Kid and Play and the Kwame side.
They had a gimmick.
Oh shit!
They had a gimmick.
No, but their gimmick was being young and cool.
Their gimmick was polka dots, and their gimmick was peasy hair.
The polka dot was being young and being cool.
I got you. I'm just saying they had an angle.
See, yeah, because so when Kwame had his polka dots, you could have gone to a Kwame show, or you could have went anywhere normally, and the polka dots was cool. You don't walk down the street and see 20 motherfuckers with rainbow hair. That doesn't happen.
And numbers tattooed on their forehead.
This dude is a spectacle. It's different.
Yes, he is a spectacle.
Like, okay, they had a gimmick, but their gimmick was not a spectacle. This guy is literally a fucking spectacle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, true.
And for me, it's horrible as it sounds. I'm kind of waiting for someone to do something bad to this guy.
Well, so...
Is it like... I wish I had a timer, right? I don't want to see him hurt. But
no, I wouldn't mind.
I don't want to see him.
He's a fucking rat.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
He's a fucking rat. We talked about this beforehand, and he's embracing the fact that he's a rat.
Right.
Now, here's my personal opinion on it. My personal opinion is that if you are running game, right? If you out there hustling and doing street shit and hood shit, and you get caught up, and then you hella tell on the people you've been caught up with, you a shiesty motherfucker. Now, if you're hustling and you hustle somebody else and then they tell on you and they're not part of the game, that's just them being a normal person.
But see, the reason why, okay, fine. Let's brass tacks. Yes, he told on a lot of people. And he told on people that had nothing to do with the crime. With the blood set that he was messing with, the ones that ran his business, he told on people that had nothing to do with that, right? But you want to hear something really amazing is that I don't blame him as much as I blame the street motherfuckers that picked this guy. They're the ones that put him in a position they created this problem, and then when the problem actually became a problem, we're gonna blame the kid that wasn't a gangster at all? He was never a gangster from the beginning.
No.
He was never from the streets from the beginning, right? Like he was just a tool to make money, right?
And they did very well with that.
This guy's has now, Takashi 6ix9ine has the YouTube record for YouTube Live. He had 2 million people watching his live. And in that live, IG Live, sorry. Yeah. I apologize. In that live.
Fact check that.
Fact check. In the live, he actually admitted, he was like, yeah, I read it. Yeah, but these guys were threatening my mom. One of these dudes was having sex with my baby mama. They kidnapped me, which they did. They beat me up, which they did. They were stealing my money. Why should I be loyal to them, right? Like,
But you was out there hustling.
Yeah, see, that's not his fault, though.
It's not his fault that he agreed to the game until the game went against him?
No, because like it'd be different if we grew up on the block together, because gangs usually means that it's a community and then you join the gang because you live on that block. It's not like on TV when you get jumped into the fucking gang, right? I know who you are, right? It'd be different if we grew up together, like you were part of this family, like the Italian mafia, and then you snitched on us. Right. But this dude was an outsider. They brought him in,
and he said okay.
But he's not from the streets, though.
Don't matter. He said okay to the game.
Listen.
And he said okay to the game because it gave him street cred that he used.
Yeah, of course.
To move.
Listen, there's the video of him putting out a hit on, I think it was a rapper's cousin. I'm not going to say the rapper's name. I don't know who the rapper is. He was putting out a hit. It's on the phone, right? And he snitched on the dude that put out the hit. He ordered the hit, paid for the hit, and then snitched on that guy.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like if you're gonna run that game, then you got to take the consequences that come with getting caught up.
Right. Once again,
I know we're from a different era.
Yeah,
I got you.
Once again, but
when rappers actually rapped.
See, I think what actually kind of, I'm glad you said that.
It's the truth.
Because once upon a time, a rapper worked to be impressive with his music.
Right.
Right. Takashi 6ix9ine is 24 years old.
Read them lyrics.
24.
Please.
Biggie was 24 years old when he
died.
Big L. Big L was 24. Big L. You fucking Gen Zs have no idea who Big L is. And some of you millennials are like, who the fuck is Big L? I know Tupac and I know Biggie. Like, you don't know shit. But
Tupac and Biggie both looked up to Big L.
Listen, I'm not a hater, right? But I just don't like the fact that Takashi's music is called rap music.
Nah.
Like, you can't take a banjo and put it in a metal song and call that shit metal, can you?
I don't think you can. I'm not sure.
I guess so, right? But hip hop has no fucking rules. Let me get to the lyrics.
Yeah, get to the
because his new song is called Gooba, right?
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
It's baby talk. The rest of his songs are titled as such, right? It's almost like the titles are even trolling you. He's like, you're gonna listen to this shit, and I'm calling you stupid, and I know it's fucking horrible, but you're gonna like it anyway. He says, "Are you dumb, stupid, or are you dumb? Huh? Play me like a dummy, like a bitch. Are you dumb?" He rhymed dumb and dumb.
Didn't he rhyme it like 3 times?
Yeah, wait. And then he repeats it. It's a refrain that appears over refrain. A refrain is a rhyming phrase that appears over and over at the beginning or the ending of
kind of like a hook.
A poem, like a hook. He repeats the shit again. The point that I'm trying to make here, right?
Yeah.
Is that once upon a time, can we show the people your shirt?
Oh,
show
yeah.
the people your shirt, right? Who the fuck is Eric B. and Rakim? Now, I'm not saying go back to listen to Paid in Full, even though you could, right? I'm not saying go back and listen to rappers that are probably 50 years old now. I'm not. But I am saying is that the fact that this fucking guy is considered a rapper is insulting to dudes like Big Pun. Right?
Absolutely.
What was it? In the Deep Cover remix, he said
Deep Cover was a movie.
Yeah, Deep Cover was a movie.
And Snoop Dogg had a breakout hit.
That was Snoop Dogg's breakout hit from his very first song.
Right.
And then they remixed it, and they had Pun and Fat Joe, and Pun steals the show.
Yeah,
right?
killed it.
So Takashi 6ix9ine is a Mexican kid. Right. Big Pun is a Puerto Rican kid. Both Latinos. Right. So what we have here is the representative of the hip hop today. Bro, Big Pun said, "Dead in the middle of Little Italy. Little did he know we riddled some middleman that didn't know diddly." Right? The alliteration and the rhyme scheme that has happened there is at such a high level. Well, this motherfucker is like, "Are you dumb, stupid, dumb, huh? Play me like a bitch. Are you dumb, huh?" Like, what kind of remedial, I can't read shit is this kid writing? He's a troll, man. He's not a rapper.
Because that's the level of communication.
Am I the old guy? Are we the old guys?
We are the old guys.
Fuck, man. We're the old guys.
But I'm cool with that shit.
I'm cool being the old guy too, right? Because like the beat is hot. right?
I don't even think that beat is that hot, to be honest with you.
Like, I mean, if I want somebody gonna ask for the shit in the club when we finally open up again. Somebody's like, "Yo, play that new 6ix9ine." Somebody, and there's gonna be a 25-year-old out there getting busy to that song. There's gonna be a bunch of bitches out there dancing to that song.
Okay,
and then
but
I'm really gonna feel like the old guy.
We had music like that too, but at least it was okay.
Yeah, we did have music that was spectacle, right? Vanilla Ice was a spectacle. Vanilla Ice is like the perfect example. Remember Robert Van Winkle rapping about Vanilla got the 9 and he's from the fucking suburbs. Right? Like, I'm not mad, but spectacle. It was, but the difference is Vanilla Ice wasn't street affiliated. He was telling stories.
He came on dancing and singing.
Yeah, he was telling stories like if you believe that Vanilla Ice's music was real, that's like thinking that Christopher Reeves is really fucking flying around there as Superman.
Was Superman.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like Tom Holland is really swinging through Brooklyn, New York as Spider-Man. Get the fuck out of here. That's the difference. Is Takashi 6ix9ine shit was like, I'm real. I'm really a gangster. There's been so many.
I'm gonna cut you off there because we actually are out of time. Yeah. And I don't know why we didn't cut the other 18 times that we heard shit in the background. Yeah. But that's because we're consummate professionals and we can actually work through adversity.
We are working through adversity.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yes, because we are that way. That's right. Right there. Mm-hmm. We work through adversity.
Somebody got to do it. Somebody
ain't the other people in this fucking room.
Ain't the other people in this room.
Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys tuning into the Sooner and Scholar.
We are the Scholar and the Sinner.
Yeah, see, now you got me fucking up. Scholar and Sinner. Click the like button. Subscribe. Follow us.
Leave a comment, please.
Yeah, fact check.
Love.
Out.